All right, here is our one-step equations, multiplication and division video. So if you remember in our addition and subtraction video, the way we solved things was by doing the opposite. If we had a problem that looked like this, that looked like x plus 5 equals 9, we would do the opposite. Instead of adding 5, or to undo adding 5, we would add negative 5. And we'd make sure we did the same thing on both sides of the equal sign. So we'd also have a plus negative 5 right here. This would cancel out, leaving us just the x. Over here, 9 plus negative 5, 9 positives, 5 negatives, would leave us 4. And then we would check it by going through and saying where we had the x, put the answer 4 plus 5 equals 9. And if we got it right, we'd give ourselves a big smiley face. All right, we're going to do the same idea. Let me just capture this and put it down here for a minute. Actually, let's put this one over here, and we'll just stick this. This is our kind of reminder piece. Doesn't have to be too big. We're going to do the same idea with multiplication. And we're going to do the same idea with division. We're going to do the idea of things to both sides, so we still need that, and doing the opposite. So the opposite of multiplying x by 7 is dividing by 7. Dividing is the opposite of multiplying. So we're going to take the 7x, we're going to divide by 7. Instead of getting a 0 pairs, we get a big 1. 7 divided by 7 is 1. And then that 1 times the x is x. For the 56, we also have to divide it by 7. 56 divided by 7 is 8. To check our work, we're going to do the very same thing we did when we did these problems. We're going to take the original problem, 7 times x, but now instead of x, we're going to write the 8. That's what x equals, is 56. And yes, 7 times 8 is 56. We did it right. Give ourselves a smiley face. So let me capture this one, move it over here just a little bit. Pause now, take a look at that. Think about that problem. We're going to leave it up. There was our original one to look at. Here is one that you can refer to. And let's bring out another multiplication problem. And like we did with the other video, as we bring them out, I'd like you to try them. Try to solve it. If you need to, you can go ahead and check out the video. You can watch it. But first ask yourself, do I know how to solve it? Do the things that you know. You know you're going to put the line, the dashed line down, so you remember to do the same thing on both sides. All right, so pause this. If you think you understand, pause it, solve it, watch it. If you're not sure yet, watch one more and then you'll have a couple of extras to try. All right, so we're back. So we have 3 times x. The opposite of 3 times x is to divide by 3. Remember, fractions show our division. We know if that was the right thing to do if we get a big 1, because we want 1 times x. We want only x. We remember our rule. Whatever we do to one side, we have to do to the other. So we're going to divide this by 3. Well, 18 divided by 3 is 6. Negative divided by positive is negative. We have x is equal to -6. Let's check to see if we did that correctly. 3 times -6, does that equal -8? 18? You bet it does. 3 times 6 is 18. Positive times negative is negative. Yay for us. Another successful problem. All right. Let's capture that. Save it right down here. Is there room? Yeah, we'll just save it right over there. There's another one for you to refer to. I think we can do a little better job of that. Let me just shrink that a little bit more. Because if I shrink it a little more, then I can bring this over and shrink it a little less. So we can be sure that you can read both of those. So here are two problems now that you have to refer to. So refer to those as you think about solving this problem. And please, pause the video now and try to solve it. Don't just watch me. Don't just listen to me talk and watch me write things and then you write them on paper. Actually try to solve the problem. Do as many steps as you remember. Okay, so I'm going to stop now. I'm going to stop talking. You're going to pause the video and you're going to try to solve it. Okay, we're back. So hopefully you remembered to start by putting this line through the problem, right through the equal sign. That is our remember to do the same thing on both sides of the equation line. You looked at this. You said, oh, negative 2x. That negative 2, by the way, is called a coefficient. Here the coefficient was 7, 7x. Here the coefficient was 3, 3x. Here we don't have a coefficient. Well, we do actually. It's a 1 right there, 1x, but we don't think about that too often. So the coefficient is what we divide by. So we're going to divide by 2. How do I know I picked the right thing? Because 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 1 times x is x. What does x equal? Well, since I divided by 2 on that side, I have to divide by negative 2 on this side. I didn't divide by 2. I said that wrong a moment ago. I didn't divide by 2. I divided by negative 2. So here I have 16, and I'm dividing by negative 2. So how much is 16 divided by negative 2? Well, positive divided by negative is negative. 16 divided by 2 is 8. My answer is x equals negative 8. Let me check my work. To check my work, I take the negative 2, I multiply it by the negative 8, because that's what x is, and I see, does it equal 16? Negative times negative makes positive. That's a positive 16. 2 times 8 is 16. Yes, indeed, that is a successful problem. All right, let's capture this up. And let's see if it'll let us shrink without shrinking that whole line. No, it wants to shrink the line. That's all right. We can shrink the line. We got space right there. So we're going to bring out one more problem, one more multiplication problem, and then we're going to shift to some division. So here's our last multiplication problem. Here we go. Negative 5x equals negative 40. Pause the video, go ahead, solve the problem, turn it back on. All right, so you've had a chance to solve the problem. I'm sure the first thing you did was you put that line through it. That is our, remember to do the same thing on both sides of the equation line. You looked at this and you said, what's the coefficient of x? Well, it's negative 5. It's what x is being multiplied by. So I'm going to divide by negative 5. And I know I did it correctly because negative 5 divided by negative 5 is 1, and 1 times x is x. I have to do the same thing on both sides, so I'm going to divide this by negative 5. Negative divided by negative, positive, and that's 40 divided by 5 is 8. You may very well, I'm thinking a lot of you, probably when you were back up at this step, you said, Negative times something is negative. Oh, that's got to be a positive number because it's got to be opposite signs. And yeah, they are opposite signs. The 5's a negative, the 8's a positive. Let's do our check. That's always the final step. It's our way of making sure that we did all the steps properly. So we have negative 5 times positive 8. Well, negative times positive is negative. 5 times 8 is 40. That's our target, negative 40. We did that correct. Those are our practice multiplication problems. Let's slide that one right down here. That's the end of this video's multiplication problems. However, right here, when you want some more practice, you're going to come see me, and 16.2 has some more multiplication problems for you to practice. Plus, like all the patient support programs or all the patient support papers, it has the worked out answers on the back. All right, so let's move from multiplication to division. Let's bring out our first division problem. Here it is. X divided by 6 is equal to 18. So, in fact, let's do this. This is the great thing about being able to be the teacher on this. Let's simplify this just a little bit. Let's make it x divided by 6 is 3. Let's do a problem. You know what you divide by 6 to get 3. You know you divide 18. So we know 18 is our answer, which is great because now we can work on actually getting, oops-a-daisy, sorry about that. Now we can work on the form. Remember, we've talked about the fact that form is the thing we're really working on here. So let's work on our form. The first thing we're going to do, and you can watch this one through. You don't have to pause and try to solve. You can if you want to. If you think you know how to do it, heck, go ahead, pause. But if not, just watch this one. So we're dividing x by 6, just like our other problems. What's the opposite of dividing? The opposite of dividing is multiplying. So we're going to multiply x by 6. I'm going to make it 6 over 1 because back when I was in parochial school learning multiplication with fractions, the nuns taught us, if you're multiplying a fraction by something, make the other thing a fraction also. You probably got that in 5th and 6th grade as well. So we're going to cancel, because that's one of the great things about multiplying fractions is you can simplify by canceling. You can go diagonally. 6 goes into 6 once. 6 goes into 6 once. We know we picked the right thing because everything except the x is a 1. 1 times x, 1 times 1. We're down to just x. And just like every other problem we've done, whatever we do on one side, we have to do on the other. So since we multiplied by 6 there, we're going to multiply by 6 here. We get the answer we already knew. We get the 18. How do you check it? You check it just like you've checked every problem so far. You take what the x was and you put the answer in. 18. 18 divided by 6 gives you a 3. 18 divided by 6 gives you a 3. X divided by 6 gives you a 3. Everything looks good. We are earning smiley faces like crazy today. All right. So now, there's your first division problem. That's your practice one. That's your guide. There we go. We're going to park it on the side, and we're going to bring another division problem out. Let's bring something that's got a negative out this time. We're going to bring out another division problem. You're going to pause the video, and you're going to try to solve this one. All right, you're back. You solved it? Great. Let's go through. Oh, and you know what I realized? I realized I wrote this problem backwards. I meant to put the negative 21 on the bottom. All right, let's bring out our next problem. This one's going to have a negative. So here we go. X divided by negative 2 is equal to 10. What are you dividing by? Negative 2. What's the opposite of dividing by negative 2? Multiplying by negative 2. Negative 2 over 1. Here's my line down the middle. I almost forgot to put it in. I'm going to do that every single problem because it helps me keep track of same thing on both sides. So since I multiplied that side by -2, I also multiplied this side by -2. On the left, these can cancel out. -2 goes into -2 once. -2 goes into -2 once. 1 times x over 1 times 1 is x. That's great. 10 times -2 is -20. Positive times negative gives you a negative. 10 times 2 gives you the 20. Check the work, because we always make sure we check our work. We don't want to make a simple mistake and have it cost us getting a problem correct. So the check allows us to look at it one more time and say, all right, is -20 divided by -2 equal to 10? Well, I know negative divided by negative, same signs, that's going to be positive. And I know 20 divided by 2 is 10. Everything's good to go. I did that problem correctly. I can go ahead and take that problem, shrink it down, stick it over here, and get ready to do the next problem. So we're building a whole bank of problems you can go back and check. By the way, I forgot one of the most important parts. I forgot to give myself a smiley face. All right, next problem. Yeah, let's do something that's got a couple of negatives in it this time. We love those negatives, don't we? So here's the next problem. Pause the video, do the problem, come back and listen. All right, you're back. Here we go. Line down the center. We're dividing by -5. So we have to multiply by -5 on both sides. Cross cancel. If we do this right, all of that should cancel to 1s. The only thing left should be the x. -6 times -5, negative times negative is positive. 6 times 5 is 30. Our answer is 30. I can get rid of this. I don't need it. Just help me remember it was positive. And the check, I'll bet you're getting really efficient with these problems. Don't go too fast. Don't go so fast you make silly mistakes. But I'm betting that you're probably getting to the point where it's almost getting automatic. So our answer is 30 divided by -5. Does that equal -6? Positive divided by negative is negative. Different signs, negative answer. 30 divided by 5 is 6. Not going to forget that smiley face again. There we go. All right, let's capture that. Shrink it down a little bit. Move it off to the side just a bit. Gives us room for one last problem. Let's close with a straightforward, everything's positive problem. You've earned it. You've earned an easy problem at the end. So go ahead, solve that problem, and bring the video back up, and we'll finish it out. All right, so we have x divided by 3 is equal to 15. There we go. Do the same thing on both sides of the equation line. We're dividing by 3, so we're going to multiply both sides by 3. We know we did the left right because these cancel to 1s. And we have only x left over. 15 times 3, 45. Do the check. Does 45 divided by 3 equal 15? And the answer is, you bet it does. All right, come see me. Get 16 twos, pace and home support, do some extra practice. Heck, by the time you get into the test next Tuesday, you're going to be saying to yourself, I wish I had more of this stuff. Man, I really get how to do this. And you know why you get how to do it? Because you've taken the time to practice it, because you've studied it. That's how you get better at just about anything. All right, so close this video down. Come get some more practice from me. Thanks for spending all the time on it.